episode of Meandering, a series in which I meander around basically reviewing them that I started because a friend of mine really asked me to. If you are not that friend of mine and you somehow find this, I hope you enjoy it. Today I'm looking at Ecopoint. It's a pretty tester map, appears to be some sort of research facility that shares with the remnants of like an old castle or something like that. I didn't read the workshop page well enough. Starting off on T-spawn, I'm going to head to A side because that seems simpler. Very well decorated T-spawn area. Something to throw utility over towards the A side, it seems like. Yeah, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Head into this cave area. Got a lot of stuff here. Potential off angle and also potential boost. Nah. I can throw utility over that. Yeah, just come out through this cave area and peek onto site. Only real way that doesn't involve mid. We have this, which this looks like a mid to me, so I'm gonna head back to this cave entrance. Come on the site. Pretty simple site. A bit of elevation here for CPs to play off of. Can peek around this rock. I wonder, can you jump on this rock, or is it clipped? Yeah, it's clipped. Interesting. Central piece of cover on site. Decent back box type angle. You can play kind of around a headshot style if you want. You can also play this ramp as sort of a headshot, and also play further back on it as kind of an off angle. Less expected. Let them run by and then swing. You play right here. I wonder if you can. Oh, it doesn't look like you can wallbang through these windows. Unless I'm mistaken. Should go through and then go all the way here, but looks like there's stuff in here that's blocking the bullets. This is a wall bang. No, it's not. Never mind. We'll come to that later. A slight box here for an off angle, which is funny. Pretty simple site. Can't plant on top of the boxes, which is always good. For an open plant, you're probably going to do it like here, so you can see it from the most area. It's also, this is like default and I think pretty open, because you can see it from the most angles if you plant here. And you're also safe. That's pretty good. Looking at it from the CT perspective. They head over this way. The voting sign. That's from ancient, right? Yeah. Got this, you can jump peek around. And this, you can get onto this brush, and then if you are good at the game, you could maybe, oh my god, I'm so bad. I was gonna say you could maybe, oh my lord. Does the sign even have code? Yeah, it's okay, I was gonna say you could jump on top of the sign, but that's not a thing. This isn't an area you can boost over or do stuff with. It just exists. It's fine. Yeah, I can't do any movement on that. Very simple site from the CT perspective. Yeah, I'm just holding one of the angles I mentioned earlier. Yeah, these boxes are all clipped too, so you can't boost or do anything. Very anti-movement on this map, and it's a little aggressively clipped too. Like I can bump my head on this very easily. Very simple plain A site. I feel like there is enough cover. It doesn't feel bad. As a T, I don't think I have too much stuff to deal with, and I also have stuff to fight around the isolate angles. And as a CT, I think the same thing applies, where I can choose to isolate fights pretty easily and not worry too much about getting overwhelmed when it feels like there are fair and fun angles to fight this. Could probably have a bit more stuff on site to maybe make it feel a bit like there's more stuff going on, because it feels pretty empty. This is like a very annoying main off angle. Definitely going to want to try and get scoped on the T side up there. Probably a bit more to the left, and there's going to be a gap here no matter what, which isn't like an issue. It's just kind of a way to make this. Might throw a smoke. Actually landing there, I was moving while I threw it, so it didn't land properly. That's a site. I said all there is to say and more. Let's take a look at B from the T perspective, coming out here. And back to this cool front lobby area. It's very nice. Nicely decorated. So we can, okay, we have a lower and an upper path. I'm gonna go lower because I'm assuming that leads straight to site. This, we'll come back to this stuff later. Got this little outside area. Probably throw maybe utility up and over. I don't know. Is the site indoors? Yeah, it's indoors. Okay. It is nice though. This vaguely reminds me of It's on the tip of my tongue. Not Tuscan. God, I can't remember it. But there was a map with a little tunnel area that also had an overlook like this from older Counter-Strike. Vending machine. Can jump on it theoretically, or at least boost. I don't know if you really want to, but it exists. Oh, and this jumps back into this area. You can also you can jump crouch off this bench. It is a perfect jump crouch though, so you have to actually have movement. This leads you to sight. Very shiny floor. Holy. Can't see this in the reflection though, which is a parallax moment. See it from here. Yeah. Cube maps. I was just going to quickly check if this jumped cube maps while you're running around site. It's good that it doesn't, because that'd be kind of distracting. I feel like this floor doesn't need to be reflective. It's nice, but it feels weird, because, you know, it's cube maps doing reflection, so it's not great. This upper area, I want to look at real quick as well. So you make the choice here whether to go lower or upper. If you go upper, it feels like it would take a good chunk longer. And, oh, it lets you fight an area that I'm assuming CTs can kind of scale up and be up on top of. There's also some movement to be done here. Yeah. And you could definitely jump onto this as well. Interesting. Got a lot of vertical options. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of natural angles on site. Like, this is one of the few ones, and this doesn't feel like real. This doesn't feel like something I'm really going to want to play, but it is one of the few angles I have. This vending machine area leads back to the middle. This door, squeaky, leads back to what I'm gonna, like, Astro is what I want to call it instinctively. We have something to throw utility through. It's like Nuke where you have to shoot at the glass first. I think the Stom, please just have it be open. I want to throw utility without having to announce my presence. It's cringe. This is mid. We'll look at this later. Let's actually take a better look at site. Yeah, not a lot of cover to actually play on site. CT perspective, come out here, right? Come through. Very kind of long angle. Not terrible, but I think on retake you're gonna have maybe some awkward fights on this like headshot. But it's just not inherently bad. It just dissuades T's from getting overly aggressive. So you come through here, lobby area. You got ticket right here, which isn't like a real angle, but it is what I would call this little corner. This feels like just a way to isolate people coming from squeaky. When it comes to actually fighting site, you're just going to be fighting around these pillars. These pillars have glass kind of protruding around. Interesting. So you're going to have a lot of wall bang fights. And, I mean, everything can wall bang through this unless you're doing it at like a kind of a bad angle. Maybe this is like the straightest it can be, and I think even a weapon underscore Glock. I think even a Glock should be able to penetrate. Yeah, so it's not bad. A maintenance area here that you can't access. Would it be bad if you could sit in here? Probably. This reminds me of Toxic on Old Nuke. Not old Nuke, but before the update that kind of adjusted the vents and everything. Very simple site. I wish that there was some more cover to play around here, because it feels like this area is not somewhere you can really stand. You can isolate Squeaky, but then you're exposed to main and CT. And if you isolate main, you're exposed to like Squeaky early and I guess CT swinging. I feel like there should be something here. It doesn't have to be, but I just feel like a little box like this does a good chunk of help and also makes fighting this area more fun. It makes it that as a T coming up here, as you're pushing, you have something to fight around that doesn't feel as bad. Because you just have this, which isn't bad, but I feel like there could be more. Hell, you could even make this wider, and I think it'd be good. Like a nice solid piece of coverage. This is the thought. Not objectively good, but just an opinion. Timings are going to be interesting on the site. I feel like T's definitely being able to kind of quickly jump around this area. This is just a little awkward. I feel like this, just specifically here, because where you're going to do a quick jump, this should be like some random, this should be made flat. It looks nice, but this just creates like a weird thing. Maybe a tiny ramp, like a wooden pallet laid down on it or a metal sheet, and then it just makes it smoother. It's not hard, it's just a little jumpy, which can be awkward. Not bad. This is like one of the few angles that you have as a PT that isn't like playing directly on site. Playing directly on site feels very open. We have all the stuff to throw utility through, but you would be throwing it from all the way back here. Nope, you'd be throwing it literally from T-spawn, and I don't... Unless we move to skybox, I'm laying down some smoke. What's the C? No skybox. Okay, that's good. So you can really eat something. Yeah. Yeah, we got these glass windows that you can't break that look like you should be able to use to throw utility up and through here, but I don't even know if you can throw stuff up there. And glass. Yeah, it's just all indoors, but visually it doesn't look like it, which is good for lighting, but I wish I could throw utility. A very, very simple site. Kind of wish there was a bit more cover. It feels a little plain. Looking at it, I feel like I ignored this Astro area a bit, but I'll come back to it later. I got a B main. Feels a little awkward, don't have a lot of cover. I keep CT, and then I keep scaling up. Yeah. Interesting. This is just like the one off angle that I could see people playing, and that could be funny. Coming through here, this feels very awkward because you have multiple levels of elevation to fight, like down here and as well up here. And at the same time, someone could be playing all over the staircase on varying levels of head height, and potentially trying to get like a headshot peek over it. It's very, very awkward. So this is mid. I'll look at mid starting from the T perspective, going through this lovely thing to the right, and this is one way to mid through Aqua. This is bottom mid, kind of open, got a tree as a central piece of cover here. Very open middle, and this crosses back into, I believe, yeah, Squeaky and Astro. Yeah. Okay, this is all making sense as a mid, so you could do a mid push and go through Aqua, and you could quickly try and take this to go through Squeaky side without opening it up. And then push site. Interesting. Or if you are trying to rotate off, you do a smoke molly here, open Squeaky, you can run through out Colin into mid. Interesting. Oh, I like this corner here, this stump area. I like the CTs could potentially get really aggressive. It's not a strong angle, but it is a place that we could maybe play. Got a bit of a headshot angle here, not a very strong headshot angle. And from CT is going to be, I'm assuming with the timing, yeah, they're going to be on this elevated portion, so this won't really come into play that often. But here's this. Oh, we got this area, which leads back into state. Is this? I don't know what to call it. I want to say like pool because of the reserve of it. That's not a real call. Short is probably the best one. It's rational. Got this little pillar to play around. I think it's large enough, but it could be nice if it was larger. This doesn't lead to anything, but it kind of feels like it could, be a staircase into like a little back heaven area over here, and it wouldn't make the site terrible. It would just be something. Just spitballing. That doesn't mean a lot. The stuff I say isn't objectively good. It's just me thinking of ways that have to be made more interesting. Being able to jump and boost here and fight is interesting, but I don't think there should be all these individual pillars that have collisions, because from the CT perspective it's fine, but from the T perspective it's a little annoying to shoot that, in my opinion, and it's not the most visually clear angle. I feel like trying to make it more obvious that this is a place, I think making this have a brighter color, not instead of lights, just having it be like a bright color on this back wall, hell, even like graffiti and exit sign even, that this makes it head stand up more there. It's not like it'd be hard to spot a head, it's just makes it easier, yeah, and I think that should be the goal. So yeah, mid to A kind of works around. So looking at it more from the CT perspective, I do feel like I can't really get too aggressive. I mean, timings probably do allow you to get more aggressive. T's have a very long run up from their spawn, going through this whole entire park area. Can they break this? No. So you have to go through the doors. Vacuum. Floor buffer. Yeah, very long timing before you make your first decision in this general area. Not absurdly long, but just pretty long. Simple area. Simple map overall. I think the sites could use a little more. B especially. A I don't think is inherently bad, but it feels kind of plain. It's not a bad site though. It just feels plain. Like, I don't know why, but I want more. I feel like there should be something more. I feel like this should be recessed into the wall and made a deeper thing. And then you could wallbang it from here, that'd be funny, but not necessary. I don't know why, but I feel like this being deeper would lead to more interesting post plants. With the way it is right now, if I'm a T, post plant on site doesn't feel all too favorable. You have this short mid thing, and you have CT. It feels like this is like one of, there aren't many like good angles. I'm just playing like holding here if I want to play on site, or I'm playing here, and I'm just kind of hoping and praying I don't get cleared early. If I want to play this angle, short people can fight me early, and if I want to isolate from CT, I guess the best option is like, this is like a safe spot, quote unquote, but it's really just an off angle. You're not really doing much. It's a one and done. It feels very difficult to post plant on T side. Also, something I've noticed is crouching around here, being able to peek to this is visually noisy, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's not like inherently bad, but I think that covering this with like a sheet of wood would make it nicer. It gets rid of the angle being weird, and a lot of maps do that with railings, where they fill them in with something and it leads to weird peaks. So this isn't nearly bad, but I'm not a fan of it. It feels like Siege, and that's not why I play Counter-Strike. And I feel like maybe we could use a piece of cover here. So not a massive one, just like a little barrel, something, just to make this fight a bit more favorable. It isn't like, you know, actual full body cover, but it's something for a player to sort of position themselves around and give them a better chance in a gunfight with the guy coming from here. Because right now, it feels like there isn't much to do. This is already like, this is a CT area to hold this. It feels like T's can't really use it well, because on retank mid is definitely something CTs are going to be able to go through. And you can't viably force T's to be able to cut off the mid cross every time effectively. It feels very, very hard. But yeah, I think the site could use a bit more cover, maybe make this recess deeper for an interesting post-plant. It's just post-plant feels frustrating for T's, like there isn't that much to do. By the way, speaking of stuff for T's to do, this is funny. And then peeking over like this, not bad, but just funny. Get an off angle through these bushes onto this. That's interesting. Real quick, I want to see if you can bang this. I would assume you can. You can. That's interesting. Can you bang the other way? Should land somewhere around here. Yeah, looks like it did. So, interesting. So there's a lot of wallbang potential. So on your way to A, you could just have a dedicated Negev player. We have a friend who I make this for. We have a person who likes to use the Negev a lot. So he would post it up here probably, and just spam out like all the common angles on site. This is not a place you can play anymore. If you get a wallbang on that. I think that's interesting. It's just unique. A lot of wallbang potential mid in general through these wooden walls, and not as much so in the rest of the map. That I have noticed, at least. I'm noticing like a lot of thick walls that you can't really bang all too hard. Yeah. So, I feel like I've looked at the map at its entirety, spoken about how I think it could be slightly improved on the sites. You know, for A, I think just making this more of a place. Recessing this a little could be cool. And I think for B, just creating a bit of cover here for someone to play around. And maybe think about restructuring this this area. I don't know. I feel like you could make this instead of a curve. You could have it be like a standard, like, you know, blocky square staircase, and then create an angle with a box to play around, just like a backside thing. It wouldn't. I don't hate curves, right? I think this looks nice and would probably play fine, but I think it'd be nice if this whole entire area was pushed back and was deeper, and there was a box on site to play around. That might make angles like this too long. How long are they right now? 1,200 units, not very long. Not a lot of long angles on this map, which is nice. The longest one I can think of is maybe like this mid angle, but I think that doesn't even beat the one from before. It barely does. Not a lot of long angles, aside from stuff that probably involves a boost. This could maybe rival it. Yeah, 1358. I think going over 15 hammer units. Oh, there's the first thing that kind of goes past that, up to 2,000, and that's if someone is standing all the way back at the stump fighting that. If, you know, most people are either going to be standing here when they peek. Oh, it is like a lot closer, so yeah, it was like the longest angle in the game. Very interesting. Yeah, if you like, there isn't much more to say about the layout. It's time for timings. And it's time for the reveal that I don't actually have this knife. I was just messing around and I did stuff to get a free knife. 1035. I'm rushing A. Okay, I started at 1035. I'm peeking out this angle at 14. That is very long. CT perspective. Starting at 11. I can hold this angle, and by the time they peek me, I make it to like here. So I would be standing here and a T would be here. Well, I did kind of take a longer route to make sure I could peek it, so it'd probably be like I'm standing here as a CT and a T is like right at this lamp area. Maybe they even jumped on it for an off angle, and oh, I did not realize that you could stand on this. Forget what I said earlier about a boost. You could just crouch. Does this force me to get off? No, it does not. You could peek it, but it'd be kind of awkward. This is interesting. I don't know if this should exist. I feel like this is a thing that should be clipped. Of the things they decide to clip, they're very sparse. I forgot, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I love how you can throw utility through this. Very nice for utility. It's smart when you think of indoor areas that have utility holes. I just wish that a bit more of that was done on the other site. Gonna hit restart. We're gonna look at the timing for B.
Lock and load.
Started at 08. I forgot you have to do this right now. Seconds. I'm here at 14 seconds. Starting at 47. Okay, so I got here at like 33, starting at 47. So I'd be like here, as a CT is like here. So they probably throw a molly when they can maybe get into like an angle like this. The timing for Astro, based on this, leads me to believe that I'd be standing here just as a CT is like getting... A CT would be like here, and they could post for a whole second by the time a T swings out. And that's what I'm assuming the timing is for that. Now to see the timing for upper B.
Let's go.
I'm able to peek this at 15 seconds. I started at a... No, I started at a 4, so it was 18 seconds. Dang. The CT's definitely beat that, like, by a lot. Wrong side. 28. So if I get there by 10, then yeah, I definitely get there by 10. So I'm holding this angle just as a T is probably around on the staircase, so as they're coming up, they could probably bounce a molly or nade off this. And the same applies to the CT team. That's what it looks like the timings are. Let's take a look at middle. 55.
And let's go.
I could get posted behind this, and that was like 8 seconds really, and if I wanted, I could get in general around this area. Definitely behind this tree in like 8 seconds, which isn't like a real place, but it's an option. I could get to the stump probably at 9. Let's take a look at it from the team perspective. Starting at 28, that's perfect. I want to go through Aqua because I think that's faster. I'm here at 10 seconds, so a CT easily has time to make it a stump or walk a little. You can get a little forward just as a... I'm able to get this angle kind of earlier. A T is able to just generally be around this. This is good. Timings are fine. CTs are able to get aggressive but not too aggressive. Ts, I think, need to use a kind of early utility. I wish they had slightly faster timings to most of the areas like that. Not by an absurd degree, but just a little faster. I think B timings are pretty good overall. For the lower area, I think they're perfect. For the upper area, I wish T's got there just a little faster. Could probably be done by restructuring the staircase into something that's meant to be gone quicker, instead of having it, kind of fold around longer. There's probably like movement you can do. Instead of going like that, you just kind of jump, but I don't think that's smart. You should just move, this staircase here, so it's all just like faster, without having to force players to think, like, about the map critically, which is not something I would normally say, but like, you should there's no point in having the staircase be like this when obviously you're meant to take a faster path by doing this jump. Just have the staircase be the right path. Because that's what everyone is going to want to instinctively go up. They don't think the math theory is lying to them. Why would they have a staircase if I should never use it? I think that's all to say about Ecopoint. I said all there is to say and then some. Yeah, I just feel like there should be a nice piece of cover in this area that would definitely help out the map, as well as a nice piece of cover over towards here to allow someone to actually play this angle, maybe recess this in a bit so that the post plant again, a bit more playability around here, because just having this angle be a little deeper. If I was able to stand like, because right now with the way it is, if I were to place a bot here, and let me make sure he's not in the wall. Yeah, he's in the wall, but like to a fair degree. I'm able to see him right as I'm coming up the staircase. I think it should be deep enough where I have to be at the very top of this to be able to see him. And just making it like, you know, twice as deep, it wouldn't eat into any of the mat. Maybe, you know, it becomes wall bangable here, but this is already a wall bang. I think it'd be fine. It'd be interesting. Also being with the here would be nice. It is possible, but in general, get rid of this. You don't need to make it look where you have to break every piece of glass you want to go utility through. I think Astro, Squeaky, all these timings are wonderful, very interesting. I think this is going to be a very dynamic area to play around. I'd love to see how rushing this area and fighting feels. Yeah, I think this was Ecopoint. That's all there is to say. Meandered a good chunk, and yeah, I will see you in the next one.